Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm your host Chris Davis. So today we're going to talk about the leaked plots in Avengers Kang Dynasty. And I'm doing this because I want to follow up after my Deadpool movie review. So if you want to see it, I'm going to have an end card somewhere up here. But in the Deadpool movie, they talked about anchor beings and how important they were into a universe. In fact, it was the main point in like the whole film. It's the whole reason Deadpool went on his like journey in Deadpool and Wolverine. But in the Avengers Kang Dynasty, the plot leak, um, they talk about how anchor beings play a huge role in this movie. Well, they would have played a huge role in this movie. They had to axe this film because Jonathan Majors' legal troubles that he got into. And when you look at the plot leaks, this looks like it would have been a really good film. We would have gotten a lot of fan service and a lot of good things, but it didn't happen because Jonathan Majors got into legal trouble. And it goes to show you that if you're working with Disney, you can't be convicted of any crimes. You have to be squeaky clean. Even though Disney owns these other uh, things like Marvel, Star Wars, and some Fox stuff like The Simpsons and Family Guy, you still have to be like squeaky clean because if you're convicted of any crime, they'll axe you. In fact, if you do anything immoral, they will axe you because their image is still family friendly. If you don't believe me, ask James Gunn. Like he posted something on Twitter like over a decade ago, and it came back to haunt him, and Disney had to let him go, and that eventually led James Gunn to being head of like Warner Brothers Entertainment, over head of everything. But that's a video. That's a discussion for another video. Point is, if you're working with Disney, you have to be super clean. But with these plot leaks, what they're showing, it looks like the movie would have been really good if Jonathan Majors didn't get into any trouble, but he did, and Disney didn't bother recasting him. They're just axing Kang and going in a different direction. You already know what that is. That's Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom. We don't know if he's gonna be the Doctor Doom or he's a Doctor Doom variant. We don't know yet. We'll see in Avengers Doomsday. That's what they're calling it now. It was going to be Avengers Kang Dynasty, but axing it because of Jonathan Majors. They didn't bother recasting Kang. They're going with Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom. So we don't know if he's actually Doctor Doom, or just a Doctor Doom variant. But anyway, let's go over these plot leaks for Avengers Kang Dynasty. So, what would we have gotten if Jonathan Majors was still Kang? So, it says here in Avengers The Kang Dynasty, the TVA began gathering anchor beings from across the multiverse, believing they were the only ones powerful enough to defeat the Council of Kangs. Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield were the anchors for their respective realities, while Tom Holland's Spider Man served as the anchor for Earth 616. The movie was intended to be smaller in scope compared to Avengers Secret Wars, focusing more on Holland's Peter Parker, Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, Hugh Jackman, Wolverine, and other anchors like Nick Cage's Ghost Rider. So that's Nicolas Cage. The plan was for all of them to ultimately fail, leading to the collapse of the multiverse and Kang's creation of Battleworld. This would set the stage for Secret Wars, where other MCU characters and additional multiverse figures would converge on Battleworld. So, this looks like this would have been a really good movie. It really gives reminds me of like Avengers Infinity War where the good guys lose and then in Avengers Endgame they had to come back to defeat the bad guy. And that's what it looks like what would have happened in Avengers Kang Dynasty. Kang would have won. He would have defeated the heroes and then everyone else would have to come together in order to defeat Kang. And I would have liked that because you want to establish the villain as a threat that he's seemingly impossible to defeat. You want to establish that, and they really did a great job with that with Thanos and Avengers: Infinity War. And this movie would have been really great because we would have seen Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield back in their Spider-Man costumes. We would have gotten Hugh Jackman back as Wolverine, and we would have seen Nicolas Cage as Ghost Rider again. I never saw Ghost Rider all the way through. I've seen bits and pieces of the movie, but I never watched it all the way through. But it would have been cool to see Nicolas Cage as Ghost Rider. But uh, Sadly, again, this movie had to be axed uh, due to the issues with Jonathan Majors. One other thing I really want to point out, and I know I already pointed this out earlier, but again, it would have been really cool to see Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and Tom Holland as Spider-Man again. Because when you look at Spider-Man No Way Home, you're thinking in your mind this is going to be only a one-time thing, and they only came together in the last act of that movie. But in Avengers: Kang Dynasty, would have seen them together throughout the film a lot longer than like the last act. And so this was just like a huge a missed opportunity. I mean, this film looked like it would have been like really, really, really good just with the actors and just the whole plot looks really good. But again, uh, the legal issues with Jonathan Majors, and then Disney didn't want to recast anyone for Kang, so they're axing Kang and they're going with Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom or some Doctor Doom variant. We don't know. And they're replacing Avengers Kang Dynasty with Avengers Doomsday. And then Doomsday is going to lead to Secret Wars. So uh, that's where it's going. So uh, Overall, yeah, this would have been good. But again, they're not recasting Kang uh, due to the issues with Jonathan Majors. And I think they could have handled Kang a lot better. I think Kang was fine until Ant Man Quantumania. Um, when Ant Man defeated the Prime Kang, the Kang that all the other variants were afraid of, I think that diminished um, Kang as a threat because if Ant Man could defeat him, then really any other Marvel hero could. And so they really shouldn't have made him like the villain in Ant-Man Quantumania. I mean, if they did, then Ant-Man shouldn't have like defeated him. Like Ant-Man should have probably just escaped from him and then warned everyone else about him. Uh, but Ant-Man did defeat him, and that really lowered Kang as a threat because he was beaten, and so they're gonna fight another villain. They're gonna fight a villain that Ant Man defeated. He's gonna be the Thanos level threat. So I think that was a huge mistake there. But overall, we'll see how Avengers Doomsday goes, and then Avengers Secret Wars. So that's all we have for today. If you liked what I had to share, please hit the like button, hit subscribe, share this video with all your friends, and all of you have a great day.